There's a lot going on in the world besides just Syria that I want to share with you. Monsanto, by the way, this is Natural News talking about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I've got to share that with you as we continue through the program. And the Big Bang Theory, bad science. I mean, there's this big debate about what should be taught in our schools and what should be in our school books. Texas has a big say in that, and what should be, and just, I guess, what is. And David Reeves is on the line with us. Reeves, excuse me, like the actor, David Reeves. Yeah. And he is a creationist and the president of David Reeves Ministries, focusing on creationism and biblical astronomy, and host of Creation in the 21st Century on TBN. What is TBN, David?
That's the Trinity Broadcasting Network. It's a Christian...
So that's Pat Robertson's empire.
Channel. Sorry?
That's Pat Robertson's empire?
No, Paul Crouch.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Great. So explain to me why the Big Bang Theory is bad science.
Okay, well, here's my opinion on this. I consider both views, both creation and evolution, to be religion. Now, let me explain this. Merriam-Webster defines religion as a cause, a principle, or a system of beliefs held to with ardor or faith. So both sides have a set of beliefs that are unobservable and must be taken by faith. And there are many on both the creation and evolution side that hold to their view with extreme loyalty, or ardor, as this is. So let's break this down. I believe that in the beginning, the God of the Bible created the heaven and the earth, and I believe that he did it in 6 days, supernaturally, not by a big bang 14 billion years ago. And we believe that God created man distinctly different than the animals, and that we were given charge over the animals. Okay, Tom, so let's look at the other side. Most evolutionists, you would say, believe that in the beginning there was this great expansion of matter. Many people call it an explosion, but to be perfectly accurate, it was an extremely quick expansion of matter and space called the Big Bang. And they believe that this happened about 14 billion years ago without any external guiding force. They believe that the matter from the Big Bang formed all the stars and the planets and you and me, for that matter. But continuing with the classical Darwinian evolution, they would believe that life originated from a mixture or this concoction of all the right elements, and that over millions and millions of years, life evolved from simple to complex, from amoeba to a human. And they believe that you and I have primate origins. In other words, that we came from ape-like creatures who got smarter. But if we go back to the dictionary, what is a religion? It's a set of beliefs, right? But I just gave my beliefs, and then I gave many, many beliefs of a typical...
Well, Paul said that faith is a belief in things unseen. Science actually can see these things. I mean, they look into a telescope and they look back into distant space, looking back in time, and can see the echoes of the Big Bang. I mean, they're to the point now where they can see, within a few hundred thousandths of a second, if my recollection is correct. Maybe not. It might be a few hundred years or a few 100,000 years of what they're identifying as what you're calling the Big Bang. But there are alternative explanations. One is the openly religious Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster suggests, and this is a quote, and I think it's actually a fairly reasonable explanation. He said this was a letter from the church to the Kansas School Board. They said, what these people don't understand is that this is their God, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, with his noodly appendages, built the world to make us think that the world is older than it really is. For example, a scientist may perform a carbon dating process on an artifact. He finds that approximately 75% of the carbon-14 has decayed by electron emission to nitrogen-14 and infers that this artifact is approximately 10,000 years old, as the half-life of carbon-14 is 5,700 years. What our scientist does not realize is that every time he makes a measurement, the Flying Spaghetti Monster is there changing the results with his noodly appendage. Could it be that when science makes these measurements that the Flying Spaghetti Monster, or maybe your God, or maybe somebody else's God, or maybe even the God that created your God or the Flying Spaghetti Monster, is actually messing with the details to just keep us all confused?
Well, but we're talking about evolution here, fact, right?
I don't know.
But not.
I think we're talking about faith. I thought that you were asserting that all of this is religion.
None of the things that I mentioned are fact. Good empirical science, you know this, Tom, is observable and repeatable. But nobody was around 14 billion years ago to observe the Big Bang. So any evidence for the Big Bang is merely a person's interpretation.
Well, no, we're here now, and we can actually observe all the way back to the early stages of the Big Bang simply by looking far enough out into space. I mean, you look a million light years out, and you're seeing photons of light that were actually produced a million years ago. You look a billion light years out, you're looking at photons of light that were created a billion years ago. They've reached about 14 billion light years out there.
No, there are quite a few scientists who would disagree with you, but no one observed it. The only thing we have is a person's viewpoint, their interpretation.
Well, they're looking at it with a telescope, David.
They're looking at things through the telescope. But there has
so it could be that the noodly appendages of the flying spaghetti monster are manipulating these?
There have never, I don't believe that. There have never to date been any confirmed observable reports of a star forming. So the theory that matter coalesced into stars and planets is a belief. If we can't get one star to form, if we can't prove that...
Well, no, I've seen video from NASA...
No.
David, wait a second. I've seen video from NASA of stars forming. Now, I'm perfectly willing to believe that it could be that either your God in a mischievous moment or this flying spaghetti monster modified the photons of light coming to us, that it's all just a giant movie anyway, and just change the film in the projector so that we think we're seeing stars forming. But NASA,
that's very speculative. That's.
Have you not seen the pictures of the birth of stars that NASA has? I mean, they're over there on their website. They're beautiful.
We haven't seen any birth of any stars. Here is where my faith is different than the faith of evolution. It is a faith. You have to take some elements of evolution, many elements of evolution, by faith. Whereas agnostic evolutionists have faith that man's theories will eventually be proven true, right. I have faith that God is big enough to create the universe exactly like he said. You see,
in 7 days.
I believe that the Bible is true, and it's the inspired word of God given to man. But if that's the case, then we actually have a written record of the creation account, of the creation event given by the Creator himself.
All right, if the Bible is absolutely true, and we should kind of live by it, in Kings, Elijah, was a wise man, and one day he was walking to Bethel, and a bunch of kids came up and started making fun of him because he had male pattern baldness, and this was apparently before yarmulkes. And so he turned around and called on the name of the Lord, and God sent 2 bears out from the woods, and they killed all 42 kids. So I know Donald Trump is constantly being mocked for his hairstyle. Should he just purchase a couple bears to maul those who mock him?
But we know from real science that many of the historical accounts that we read in the biblical record are being factually verified.
That God actually did kill those kids.
All the time through archaeology.
Why would God kill 42 children for making fun of Elijah for being bald? Serious question.
If you believe in God, why are you questioning his acts? If you believe that he is all-powerful, if you believe that he knows what is best for
So he thought it was best that those kids be killed.
If you actually read the account, there's some subtle differences in the Hebraic version of that account if you go back to the original text. But that aside, let's talk about the Big Bang. Is the Big Bang science? I believe it's science fiction because we do see apparent expansion in the universe, but that doesn't tell us anything except the universe.
Okay, so you're just hanging on to the 7 days here in Genesis.
That's predicted a long time ago by the Bible. It says that God stretched out the heavens. Now you can find all of this. I've written many articles.
See, that could be the flying spaghetti monster.
No, it's not.
Okay, all right, David. It's going to have to be a battle of faiths here. David Reeves.
Can I give my website?
Sure.
DavidReeves.com. David, R-I-V-E-S.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
David,
free videos.
David, D-A-V-I-D-R-I-V-E-S.com. You can read all about it. David, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.